Hello, everyone. Bruce here with a movie on creating files in Python. Okay, creating files in Python, and I am going to first create a new folder on my desktop for Chapter 5. Okay, where are we? New folder. Let's call it Chapter 5. Chapter 5. There we go. Okay, so now I'm in idle. And I am going to create a new file. And I'm going to create, I don't know, let's create a function, call it create file, create file, create file. And we'll call create file down here, okay? And in this function, we need to, well, let me tell you what we're trying to do here, right? We are trying to write a series of people's names to a file, okay? So the first thing we're going to do is ask user how many people they want to add to file. And then we are going to loop around getting people info, people names. And then we're going to write out the name to the file. And then when we're all done, we're going to close the file. Close the file. And one thing we need to do up here, right, is we need to, right, create the file. Create the file, okay? So let's talk about this for a second. But first, some coffee. Coffee, okay. So we need to get a handle to a file in the file system, right? In Windows or on your Mac, okay? And let's just give this a variable name. We'll call it names file. It's just a variable name, okay? It could be X if you wanted to, or A, but those aren't really good names. So, yeah. So then we need to use the open function in Python. We need to use the open function, and as you can see here, we have some type ahead, okay? So what we want to do is we want to open up a file named, I don't know, let's just call it names.txt because it's a bunch of text. And we are going to open the mode for the file as write, okay? There are 3 different modes that we care about in this class, and that's write, which is W, R, which is read, and A, which is append, okay? And A, okay, will continuously add content to a file and not overwrite it like the W write parameter will. It'll create a new file each time, so you can destroy data. You can destroy data when you use the W, okay? So the next thing we want to do, okay, actually loop around. Okay, the next thing we want to do is to loops. We'll just call it loops equal eval. Okay, input. How many names will you be adding, right, to the file? Okay, how many names will you be adding to the file? We store that in the variable loops, and now we can loop around, right? Because we know exactly how many times we need to loop for, for I in range of loops, right? And then we are going to ask for the name, right? We're going to ask for the name. Okay, I don't know why my type ahead's working a little weird there. So, yay. Well, now my tabs are weird. Okay, okay, let's just roll with it. So now we need to get a person's name. Person name equals input. Enter a person's name. Okay, you with me so far, everybody? Okay, and now we have the person's name. And now we need to write out that person's name to the file. I don't know, again, I don't know why Python's being weird, but hey, I'm sure it's weird for you too. Maybe, oh, you know what it is? Haha, I forgot a parenthesis up there. Thank you. Thank you for telling me, everybody. Okay, I know they said it a lot, but whatever. Okay, so let's do this now. So now inside of the loop, we need to call the file handle, which is names file. That's the thing that has, you know, a direct connection with the file names.txt, this one right here, okay? And now we need to call that particular file's write method, okay? Write method. Remember in the graphics library, you had things, objects, right? Names file, you can call an object, and then it has a method called write, which can do something. And now we're going to write in it the person name, okay? And remember I told you you need to add what's called a line feed to that, a line feed, and that's /n. You should know that by now, okay? That /n is line feed. And then once we're all done, we back out of the loop and we take that thing called names file and we call its close method to close the file, okay? Now, you don't always need to do this because the program will do it automatically for you, but as a good steward of programming, it's something you should do, okay? So I am going to close, I'm going to close that window for a second. And now I'm going to save this, and I'm going to save it in my chapter 5 file. Okay, where are you? Desktop chapter 5, and we'll call this files1, and we'll try to run it, and we'll see what happens, okay? Let's see what happens. Run. Okay, how many names will be added to the file? I don't know, let's do 3. Okay, so we'll do Jimmy Page. Okay, Jimmy Page. Let's see, John Bonham. And we'll do John Paul Jones. So there are 3 names, right? Program ends, okay? So now if we did this right, and we go to our folder on the desktop, chapter 5, we should see my file there, and then a text file called names.txt, and it looks like we do. And there are the 3 items, right? Jimmy Page, John Bonham, and John Paul Jones. Congratulations, okay? So let me put that code up there so you can see it, okay? There's very similar code in the book, okay, just so you know. I do need to just clean up some formatting here to make it easy for the user. So again, see how I started with pseudocode, right? Comments, right? And then I just filled in the code, right, where I needed to. Now, this program is all well and good, right? I mean, yay, it writes to a file, but how would you like read, right? How would you read the stuff from the file, right? So check this out, maybe a little mind-blowing. I'm going to add a second function called define read file, and let's talk about this. We need to open up the file names.txt. We need to read in all of the data, okay? And then we want to print out each name, right? And by the way, all of the data, all of the names, okay? All of the names, okay? And then print out all the data. And then as good stewards of programming, we want to close the file, right? Close the file. And then, by the way, after we create the file, we want to read the file. So we're calling our 2 little functions, yay. Okay, open the file. It's always great to have a young puppy next to you when you're trying to make a video. Tucker, hang out, dude, okay? He's waiting for his sister to wake up, okay? So let's open the file, and let's just call it again names file, because we can do that. It's in a different function. And then we're going to open up, right, names.txt, but this time we're going to open it up for R, for read, okay? And that's very important because we don't want to accidentally, write data to that file. That's why we're opening it up explicitly for read, okay? Yay, okay. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to say for every, I don't know, let's call it for every line in names file. So again, another use of a for loop. We iterated through lists, right? We iterated through ranges, right? And now you can iterate through a file, okay? You can grab 1 line at a time from a file and assign it to a variable, okay? Again, it doesn't have to be line. It could be name or, whatever you want, okay? So for line in name, okay, names file, and then I'm going to print out, right, the name is, and then we're going to put line, okay, line, because that's what we read in, okay. Actually, I should put this right here, okay. I should put this right here, and I need to indent everything correctly, okay. Tab key, okay. And then I'm going to take the names file and call its close method. Yay! So let's give this a shot. I know there's a problem already, but and it's one we did talk about in class. So I'm going to run it. Okay, I'll add two names. I'll add Fred and John, and I was able to then read Fred and John. Okay, that's cool, right? But you see that we have this extra line feed character here because we actually wrote it into the file when we did that, but we need to know that when we get that line back, right? I'm going to show you this right here. Let me just do it right here. Hey, Tucker, hang out, dude. Okay, that's the puppy. Okay, so let's strip off Tucker. Stop it. Sorry, everyone. Strip off the /n at the end. Okay, so the way we do that is we say line equals line dot rstrip. Remember rstrip? Rstrip. So let's just run this one more time. Run it one more time, and we'll say Fred. Whoops, how many times? 2. Fred and Mark. And there we have it. We have our beautiful non-line feeded code. Okay. So guess what? I'll leave this code up on the screen here, and I think the puppy is saying "Daddy" enough for now. So there it is, and again at the bottom I have the create file and read file. Okay. So I hope you enjoyed this video on creating and reading files. I'll have one more video on appending data to that file shortly.